Oh, welcome to the channel. Never like doing these kind of videos. I always do think it is a shame when people lose their jobs. It's not good. It sucks. This one's interesting because DC have announced a whole slew of layoffs, and it's also including a whole load of executives. Now, this article says, with decades of experience, and it is true, but also at the end of the day, look, would I rather an executive get binned off who can't produce profit, regardless of the experience, or would I prefer the little man to be laid off? I'd prefer the executive to be laid off. Because ultimately you're in charge. If you can't make profit and you can't turn the business around, you shouldn't be getting money. You shouldn't be in the job. I'm sure we can all agree on that. And if it saves the little man, from getting fired, I just did a report on Disney. 28,000 people? Sucks. Absolutely sucks. So yeah, this is interesting. Let's dive into it, shall we? This article's linked down below. In what is being called a bloodbath part 2, another electric boogaloo of firings, has reportedly happened at DC Comics, and we have the names. So Bleeding Cool reports DC is ending the contracts of some top and veteran employees that have been with the publisher for decades. But then you ask yourself, why are they on the chopping block? Probably because they're not very good. The big name out the door is co-editor-in-chief VP executive editor of DC Children's Young Adult, Michelle Wells, after only 4 years. Wells was feared as on the bubble when her co-EIC, Marie Javins, was elevated to sole EIC position. Javins' promotion was major news in the trades, and the announcement was taken as a spun narrative, distracting from cuts to come, which of course makes sense. Oh, we're hiring this, we're promoting this person. Oh, it's going to be so good, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, of course that does mean that people will be fired because your position is defunct. One other is the Director of Marketing Services, Adam Phillips, who has worked there for 26 years. Again, I never see any advertising for DC Comics. Your marketing services must be terrible. Next is Sales Manager, Stuart Schreck, who has 21 years at DC under his belt, plus running a comic book store in New York Market. But again, if sales are down, do you deserve the money? No, not really. I'm pretty sure. We can all agree on that, right? As these ones go, Director of Marketing. When do you ever see anything about DC Comics marketed by DC Comics? I don't remember anything by I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw a DC Comics advert. They don't even advertise on YouTube, for God's sake. They don't even send out I'm fairly certain they don't send out comics to comic readers on YouTube either. So again, when you're talking about marketing, that's pretty bad. Sales, are sales down? Yeah, they're not particularly great, are they? They're not going through the roof. So yeah, these two people, I would say probably. It's not like a great loss, is it? Also let go is Fletcher Chu Fong, an events director of 18 years, whose time in the industry includes stints at Marvel and Wizard. I mean, events director. What event? What event? Another name is Sandy Yee, SVP of Global Franchise Management for over 9 years. Yee has been a part of Warner Media family most of her career, with roles at HBO and Comedy Central. But again, this is the franchise management globally. What are you managing? Again, let's look at it objectively here. Marketing. When have you ever seen marketing? Never. Do they send stuff to people? I don't think they do. I don't see it. I'm in this space, you're in this space. Tell me when you last saw it, because optics matter when it's to do with sales, marketing, publishing, franchise management, all of these things. So it doesn't sound like they're doing their jobs particularly well. Now, following is Lisette Osterloh, after serving as VP of Digital Marketing and Events for 7 years at DC. Before that, Osterloh worked 13 years for Warner Brothers online and television divisions. But where's the digital marketing? Right? I'm on an article with Google adverts for DC. Right? So this is an article with about DC. It'll have DC Comics all in the metadata. And it's got Google ads running on it. I've got one for bloody Swift cover, and I've got one for RuneScape. Your digital marketing sucks. if you can't align Google Ads to a website about DC Comics. Right? Can we all agree on that? That sucks. You're bad. You're bad at digital marketing. Bad at advertising. That sucks. That is real crap stuff. They've reportedly informed group editor Alex Carr his services are no longer required after 2 years in his spot. And he's just a group editor. Yeah, fine. Bleeding Cool says a total of 9 staffers are being released, though no statement has been issued, and DC Comics is not commenting nor returning emails. I mean, it's early days yet. Equally, the site is struck by the decades of experience belonging to each firing. Combined, they possess a century or more of knowledge and experience. But if they're not doing the job and they have become complacent, you get rid of them. Jobs, it's not... DC doesn't owe you anything, right? It's an exchange. Time, effort, energy, result, money. That's how it works. Too many people think that they're non-expendable. Like, everyone's expendable in a position. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it also, it sings to people that make themselves invaluable. You must make yourself an asset to a business. And if the business is going downhill, you can't expect yourself to have a job. And it sucks, but it also, again, rings true to the death of the comics industry on a whole. Yeah, and it's a shame. Now, this is the latest round of company-wide releases at Warner DC. Former EIC Bob Harris, Black Label Executive Editor Mark Doyle, Editor Andy Curry, Senior Story Editor Brian Cunningham, and others were let go 3 months back. But also, DC, stop making, Gotham High and all that kind of crap. Like, stop it. This is what leads to this stuff. And earlier in the year, the sudden firing of co-publisher Dan DiDio transpired, and he wasn't the only one, as Mark Chiarello, SVP DC Art and Design Director John Cunningham, SVP DC Sales Trade Marketing, and Eddie Scannell, VP DC Consumer Marketing, were given their pink slips soon after. Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar sent out a memo to employees ahead of layoffs to break the sad news. He emphasized the conglomerate is downsizing and reiterated the prioritizing of HBO Max. It's a weird thing that's... I mean, I get that that's what they're prioritizing. This is a very painful email to write, and for a number of you reading this, I realize it will be even more painful to receive. For this, I'm sorry. In August, I first shared news about how we were going to meaningfully change the organizational structure at Warner Media, which entailed, among other items, simplifying how we organize our entertainment studios, elevating HBO Max, and consolidating our commercial activities into one organization. Many of you have patiently waited to hear how the reorganization would affect you personally, which is both uncomfortable and stressful. Reducing this period of uncertainty was one of the many reasons we pushed so hard to get through this work as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. Although it probably didn't feel fast enough, I want to thank you all for continuing to contribute your best despite this challenging period and the additional pressure of anything else that has been going on in the world. I previously shared how critical it is for us to evolve how we operate in the context of best serving customers. As I mentioned a few months ago, this entails simplifying how we are organized, partnering with the very best storytellers, and leaning into world-class product and technology as we share our stories directly with audiences across the globe. Our journey entails continuing to excel in our large core businesses while at the same time investing in emerging businesses where we have the opportunity to meaningfully delight customers. There's a lot of meaningful in there, isn't there? Today we've arrived at a number of difficult decisions, and then they just list off kind of what's been impacted and things like that. But again, they say, while I anticipate that organizationally things will settle down materially in the weeks and months to come, so it sounds like still more people are there. I don't want to suggest that our future is static, so basically more layoffs are going to happen. So what do you guys think? They close with, to our colleagues who are leaving, I wish there were words to lessen today's pain. Your contributions are a permanent part of this great company, and today's news does not change that. But again, at the end of the day, it sucks. But if they were not expendable, i.e. they made themselves, invaluable to the business, they just couldn't be removed, then it kind of wouldn't happen. But again, it's just, look, at the end of the day, the comics industry is bad right now. I'm not trying to blame anyone. It's so many different facets to this. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. I don't want the comics industry to die, but it seems to be on its way out, which sucks. If you're new here, do turn those bell notifications on. You want to click that bell, click notify all. That would really help me out, and also yourself out, because I release sometimes like 6-7 videos a day, and I'm sure half of you don't even know that. So yeah, it sucks. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. With Mr. H, take care.